What's up, everybody? It's Far Wheeler III, artist, founder, president of the ONYXCON Foundation. Happy Friday! It is Friday, y'all. It is Friday, August 29th. Represent. Hope y'all had a great week. Hope y'all gonna continue to have a great week, because this is Labor Day weekend. This is the one I've been waiting for. I mean, there's major weeks, there's major days throughout the year for content. But there's certain weekends, certain dates. Man, I'm telling y'all, I look forward to this one. This is one of my big content weekends. This is when I do Dragon Con and House in the Park. House in the Park. Let me say that twice. House in the Park. Let me say it 3 times. Why? Because House in the Park is my jam. That's when I get my boogie on. You know, I'm not a clubber. I don't go to the club. I don't give a damn about no club. I don't care about no drink. I don't smoke. None of that lame shit appeals to me. You know what I'm saying? Grown folk talk up in here, put the kids to bed. You know what I'm saying? As I say, for most of all, 99%, we're going to talk about that too. 99% of our content here is for grown folk. We do what we do. You know, if you grown, that's what we do. 18 and up. You know what I'm saying? Literally. I mean, you can be a teenager if your folk know you watching it, whatever. But kids, I don't recommend. Even when it's stuff that they could watch, unless you are with them. It would touch my heart to know that, parents sit down, watch my content with their kids when it's the stuff that's like the lighthearted stuff, the stuff that is family oriented on purpose. Like, I know that stuff is family stuff. I do it for that reason, because I know who might still be watching, but I want to make it clear. When I go live, my lives ain't for no kids, because I might cuss, I might say anything I feel on my heart, and and I still censor myself to a certain degree, because I know, the eyes are watching with YouTube, and then there's all a quota, and all the AI is reading every word you're saying and trying to interpret it if you're gonna do any kind of closed caption, and they do it anyway. So, they're looking at whatever you got to say and do it. So you got to be within the margins. You got to be within the margins, right? Or you can run into issues with your whole channel of blockages and stuff, right? But, okay, I done segued into it, so I'm just going to get this out the way. I'm talking about how it's hard. I mean, it's really hard to be grown and do grown like everybody else is grown, for the most part. Whatever percentage of all YouTube content is for grown folk. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's that part of YouTube that's kid material, and that's where it should be, and we need to be protecting that, because I've heard stories of, folk watching stuff on the kid side of it, and these adult style ads get put on stuff that's very inappropriate for children. Ain't got anything to do with no kids. They trying to get to the adults that might be in the room at the same time as the kids, but that's inappropriate, because many times kids are watching it by themselves. So any ad that comes on should not be something that they little brains gotta try to interpret that ain't even for them. It ain't even, no, hell no, I ain't cool with that. And I know this happens, right? So that's my first strike against the ridiculousness of something else that annoys me. So that something else is this, right? If y'all know our content, I do gaming content too. We do multi-niche, all types of stuff. Gaming, travel, like I say, events. I'm about to do House in the Park and Dragon Con this weekend. It's gonna be popping in Atlanta. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of fun stuff. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be enjoying myself. I'm gonna be getting that content, right? The thing that gets me, right, when I try to do what everybody ought to be doing as grown folk, protecting the interests of our communities, right? And making sure only the right ears and eyes see and get exposed whatever. Least you ain't got no damn business playing Cyberpunk 2077. And that's real talk. And I like that they do that as a gaming company. I mean, it's probably law, so they have to put it on there for the content that's in it. It's been graded like a movie, it gets rated. So the same way that goes is the same way I am when I'm playing it and I put out content about it. I feel like, look, y'all, I'm letting y'all know this ain't for kids. But okay, so if you don't know how it works for us on our side when we put stuff together, every time you post a video, it gives you this, you have to, by law, it's a multiple choice thing. Is this content for children? No, it is not for children. And it's, the kid one is at the top, the other one's at the bottom. Every time, my hand is like automatically at the bottom one. Automatically it hits that. I don't care if it's the biggest hit video of my entire channel rich squirrel crossing the street. That's literally a video I did. It was, squirrel didn't want to run across the street because in a rich neighborhood. He got used to being spoiled. People tell him he's cute all day, feed him, do all that. So he don't run from nothing. He ain't scared of people. He ain't scared of cars. So that was the joke, and it was a hit video. It hit like 11,000 for me, right? That's family-oriented content. Fine. I love to know that kids are watching it. I've shown that to my niece and nephew. I've shown that to other folk with families. Everybody loves it. They laugh. They share it with everybody in the whole house, whatever. That's appropriate. Fine. I still say not for kids, because what I'm doing is making sure, for one thing, this is really goofy with YouTube to me. If you say for kids, you can't monetize that content. So once your channel finally, if you've done all this hard work, finally when it gets monetized, you can't get anything, and they putting ads on content. Like I just said, any and all kind of ads are going on content for kids any damn way. Some stuff that they shouldn't even be seeing, right? But then you penalizing content creators or holding us accountable and making us feel strange, even giving us the option. I don't even want to see the option. No, I'm grown. My content is not for kids. Now, if somebody want to show it to their kids, that's a choice. But I'm telling you from the beginning, don't come to me tell my kids saw a squirrel crossing the street and I don't want them to see squirrels crossing the street because they might got hit. And even though it didn't get hit, I don't want them to see that. You know what I mean? Like, that ain't got nothing to do with me. But I'm joking. But there's people just that damn crazy. That they would, it can get that weird in this world we in. So I'm saying, rather than deal with any of that, I just automatically, all my stuff is not for kids. If you choose to show it to your kids, fine. But even then, I hope you heard me, because like when it comes to the stuff that's not for kids for real and ought to be obviously not for kids, I mean that. I seriously mean that. I don't want to know that some kid is watching me play Cyberpunk. That's not, that is definitely not for them. You know what I'm saying? Because when I do the Bustin' Pixel show in general, I don't even really talk a lot. I don't do a commentary unless I'm playing like Cyberpunk. That's about the only game I do commentary over. Every now and then some other games too. But for the most part, that's the one where I'll talk over it while I'm playing sometimes. And right now I'm doing a series talking about Orion, Cyberpunk Orion, the future game that's coming up, being in development, and we should see it hopefully in 5 years. The sequel to the classic Cyberpunk, right? So I'm talking about everything I wish would be better in the game, would change, might change, may never change, blah, 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 right? So that's very, like I say, that content is very adult. And like when it gets to a point, like I had an episode where there's a mission, and I've played through the game 3 times. I'm on 3rd and final. I always say this is my last character developed. I'm not trying to start from the beginning and play it all over again. It's too much. I like where I'm at. I'm fully powered up. I got all the good, cool stuff, and I'm still getting stuff as I go. So I'm loving that. And hold on one second. Let me make sure I'm at the right place here. We in courier mode, so if you know how I do, I'm gonna have to drop y'all for a second, do this delivery, and then I will be right back, because that's how we do it. We gotta keep it rolling. We gotta keep it pushing out here. 2 in the building. I ought to see 2 thumbs up. What's up with that? Get them thumbs up. Now I got 4 in the building. Need to be 4 thumbs. All right. We are back in. Tell a friend. We are back in. That's some on-set talk for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the film business and everything. I do a lot of different things. But this moment just now is hilarious. It was like the literal epitome of what I'm talking about. At least at this first part of the live, because I do many topics when I typically go live. But talking about how YouTube's content restrictions are and how they should be for age restriction, how they are and how they should be. And I was saying they need to live up to what they say they are trying to do by restricting content that's not for kids, which I agree with. Like, what's not for kids ain't for kids. It shouldn't even be seen. They shouldn't even be able to get on here. Like, for real. Like, the only part you can see is that part that's for kids. Watch the little kiddie cartoons and all that. Stop trying to look at what grown folk talking about that your little mind will never understand until you in your 20s. And even then, you need to be 25 and up because your damn brain ain't finished developing. This 21-year-old is drinking and don't have no damn sense. So it's like, little babies shouldn't be looking at stuff grown folk do and talk and say and whatever, because I mean they looking at it in real time in their household. And some people, you love to use that excuse, well, you know, I cuss around my kids, I do this, I let them watch R-rated movies. Yeah, and then your kid turn out crazy as hell when they grown, and you gonna act like that ain't got nothing to do with it. Like, you silly bastard. Like, I was raised like that. I turned out fine. No, you didn't. You just think you're normal. You're fucking crazy too. Like, there's limits. You silly sons of bitches. There's limits. And people don't want no limits. People just, they give all these reasons for why free, just flowing stupidity should be just, and it's not. It's not. You see the results. I don't deal with good and bad. I deal with function and dysfunction. Because what you call good, like I just said, there's nothing wrong with that. That's good. I grew up like that. And yeah, you're jacked up. You jacked up, man. You know, there's nothing. You can look at time. I could give time and example again and again of celebrity status. Because the only reason I mention that is because they're so famous that you know their stories because it's public. You know, they love to dig up stuff and show what these people went through, especially once they hit a crisis. You know, somebody like Puffy, you know, if you ever heard his story, you know a little bit of enough to know why he cuckoo in the cuckoo. You know, if you ever heard the story of R. Kelly, you know why. You know, he was way too young, overly exposed to sexual stuff that he shouldn't have been looking at as a little boy. Way too damn young. And it's yes, kids kids want to see what they're told not to look at and what they're told not to do. They always trying to get to it. That's kid energy. But as adults, if you're at least putting up the effort to say that ain't, if you're constantly telling them no instead of acting like, oh, you know, they're gonna get into it anyway. As soon as you drop your guard and act like it don't matter, you've pretty much okayed and took them to the next level of debauchery, because other folks who think that same way, who may even have a worse home situation, their kid's gonna influence that kid that you're trying to act like it don't matter, and then they're gonna keep stepping up to the next level of craziness they shouldn't be even involved in. And that's not cool. That's just not cool. And it's like, you know, I could get into this from so many angles, but I'm gonna start with just what I was talking about, you know, I just did this delivery, right? And just for a quick example, it was a business, and you know the place is basically closed, but they needed, you know, first I'm checking to make sure it's the right place because it looked dark in there, like it wasn't even open. Lady came to the door. I said, "This is blah blah blah." She's like, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, cool. I'm just making sure." You know, got her order, gave it to her. She's like, "You need to take the picture." I was like, "I appreciate you," because some people ain't even consider it. They just want to grab it all quick, don't even understand. You know, when you're doing this courier thing, you got to take the little pictures and stuff to show them that it has been delivered. Now, most time, they don't honestly care, the companies, what the hell you take a picture of. I've tested that theory under circumstances, and it don't seem to matter most of the time. But I ain't trying to get to the day where they like, you know, we haven't been tripping about it, but guess what? The next person sent in a picture of a cup holder. Damn it, you're off the app. We're gonna, you know, I ain't got time for that. Ain't nobody about to block my flow. So I do it the right way and keep it straight, right? So she gets back in the building, puts the package down at the door, and the door is still open. There's a little kid, like, looks like maybe her son, maybe her niece, nephew or something. It's a little boy. And he's all, you know, kid curious like they be. I'm an uncle, I know how they do. So I hear her say, "Get out the way, I need you in the picture," right? Soon as I put the camera up and get it in focus, soon as I go click, his little head pop around the edge of the door. I said, what the? So I told her, I said, "You said camera?" And we just both started laughing like it. Hey, that's all they know. Camera mean cheese. This must be about me. You got a camera out. Folks been taking pictures of me since I was a baby. Everybody tell me I'm cute. It must be for me. You know, so the psychology of a child gonna do what they do. I get it. But at the same time, because of that innocence, we have to protect that, man. Real grown folk need to protect that. And I got a problem with how a lot of these companies and folk, they say they doing that. They don't really. You look at the way they structure these rules, it's not solid. But they want to act like they doing so much. No. The worst thing about a lot of corporate situations is they put a whole lot of fancy wording on a bunch of BS that's just not what it is. When you dissect it for what it is. So here's what I'm saying exactly what happens here at YouTube. Like I say, whenever you post a video, by law, it tells you that by law you have to say whether or not this content is appropriate for children or not for children. Automatically, I say not for children. I don't care what it is, even if it could be family content. Why? Because like I said earlier, I leave that in the hands of the adults who run the household. Only you can determine what's appropriate as a guardian for the children in your home. I'm not going to say, yeah, I think it's just fine. So no. I'm not setting that standard for you. You set that for your own household. You feel? So that's what I look at with those two options to say. And that's how I do it. I say, no, it's not. It's not for, but I wish it had a little clause that says it might be appropriate, but let the adults. I wish it had that much in there. I really do. I wish it said that little extra bit of what's in my mind for the logic of it. But, we're in this illogical world of so much idiocy with all the idiots have all the money, and all the people who think logical like me got to work up this ladder. And if we don't team up, I keep telling y'all, if all the people who think with respect first team up more, the world will be a different place. We out here now. We ain't got no weak numbers. We in numbers, but I know we the minority. I've come to that conclusion. I'm under no illusions about that. Most people lead with money first. Even the ones who say they don't. They yeah, right. Yeah, test them. You'll see. And I'm not over here saying that money's not in the equation or not needed in a capitalist system and all that. That's not my point whatsoever. I got to get out here and deal with it like everybody else. I'm saying it's not the concept of it, and what it represents does not define me. My actions, my ethics, my own personal order of natural respecting the universe, that defines me. I ain't not all that other mess. So that's the difference, and it's just that simple. And it's by example. I mean, if you can see it, you can see it. If you can't, everybody's filter is different. Like I said, people. That's why I don't get into good and bad. It's about function versus dysfunction. All I got to say is look at the receipts. Look at how my life has been for the way I'm saying to live. Nothing's perfect, but I guarantee you, more so than no so, I got a lot of people that love me because they respect me. And I ain't got to worry about having support in a lot of categories that some people are completely empty on because they don't have no respect. That's why they don't trust nobody. That's why they always talk about no F's given and all this other. They live their whole life in a concept of fear. They're afraid of everything and everyone they're around because they're not true to themselves. So how can they be true to anybody else? Nothing about them is real. They just, it's a situation of people who just are constantly lying to themselves, keep liars around them, and like lying energy. They say they don't, but they actually, when you bring the truth to them, man, oh my gosh, you talking about seeing somebody go into a fit because they ain't never they don't put themselves around that enough or accept or respect the truth enough to accept it. So when they're around truth, man, they don't like truth. No. Bring me some friendly lies, some nice ones that sound good or something. That's all they want. That's all they used to. So again, with this theory of how they do this whole age restriction thing, I'm trying to be the responsible adult and say, look, this game is 18 plus. So every time I post cyberpunk content, I don't get a lot of numbers on, well, let me take that back. It really is a complete gamble. Every time I do gaming content where it's a playthrough, it's a gamble. Because my channel is not just gaming, I've come to the conclusion that's why I can't bet on that worth nothing for advancing our numbers. Because I have had a video totally unexpected, and it was a Cyberpunk 2077 video, go over 2,000 views. I think up to this day, it might be close to 3. And it was totally unexpected. I'm talking about like out of nowhere. I said, whoa, what the hell happened with that one? Why this one? And it's not like I changed anything major. Now, maybe what I was talking about was just more interesting. So I did a few more videos about that, but I mixed it in with ONYXCON style. And I do this all the time. So it's not like, again, it's not new, but I did make it part of the thumbnail. And I think that's what got people is, excuse me. And I imitated that thumbnail again and never got the same results though. I thought, let me just do everything kind of like that one, but still be a new video. with the same game, and I'm gonna get dressed. I'm just gonna show myself dressing my character and how I think about the clothing and stuff like that. My theory on color and texture and design and bring my artistry to it for real, for real. And I guess people appreciated it that first time. Maybe they'd never seen nothing like that, because most people just playing through, shoot them up, bang, bang, boom, that's it. No, you can do so much more in this game. So I'm sure, I'm cool with all the rest of it too. I do all that. But I want to show you these other things you didn't even know you could do, right? So I'm doing all that, and I'm thinking that's what got them. But like I say, it didn't ever jump again in that way. But knowing it can happen again, next time I want it to be like 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, And it'll happen. If it's meant to be, it will. That's all I know. So I go live out of habit, and I do this stuff out of a love because I actually love this game. Like, I truly love that game. Cyberpunk is one of my favorite games of all time, and I love that world. I like what Michael Pondsmith created. I think he's a genius. So, and I'm always saying his name to remind people of who he is, because people don't know. They talk about the game, Cyberpunk, Cyberpunk, Cyberpunk. They talk about the anime, Cyberpunk, the Edge Runner, Cyberpunk, and don't even know that this whole thing was made possible by a small but very powerful company called Artel Saurian, ran by and written by and conceptualized all these games. I'm talking about Cyberpunk and many others that he did, by this black man named, that's right, black man. Let me say it one more time for all the racists that's gonna run and jump off a cliff. Oh, my favorite game was started by a black. Yeah, that's right, you stupid. Michael Pondsmith, look him up. And it's gonna really make you mad, because there ain't no doubt he black. It ain't one of them, is he a black guy? No, yeah. That big old fro. Oh yeah. That brown skin. Those features. Oh yeah. You ain't gonna deny his West African, Central African roots. Any part of Africa roots. How about that? You ain't gonna deny it. Anyway, shout out to Michael Pondsmith. Definitely a king in the thing. So this brother, man, I love that game, and I love the world. Like I say, I want to be a part of it directly as an actor and stuff. If it's meant to be, it will. I always say that because I want to wish it into reality. I did a fan piece called Unfinished Business, Cyberpunk 2077, Unfinished Business. You can watch it right here, ONYXCON Network. And I'm very proud of that. And so anyway, because of the way I love this game and the way I go live on any game I like, I played Marvel Rivals. Yeah, y'all. So, what? Anyway, so like my point, like I say, we have all these different games that I play and everything, and so because of the adult nature of Cyberpunk, I tend to, like I said, by automatic, I always say in all my videos, not for kids, just automatically, right? But I also started doing sometimes when I'm playing Cyberpunk, depending on what happened in that particular episode, how violent it got, how sexual it may have got, innuendo, direct scenes, different stuff happening, whatever. I'll say, this is 18 plus only, right? Why does it put a freaking, this is what YouTube does. Why does it put this damn triangle with the exclamation mark in yellow, which is not the word strike, but it is considered, that's the symbol for strike. Like they use the same thing for copyright strike. I'm like, I'm being responsible saying, this content should be restricted for only 18 plus, and you're penalizing me? You're making it look like a bad omen for me? What kind of sense does that damn make, man? I was so pissed today when I saw that, because I was editing some of my videos and giving them thumbnails. A lot of times I don't put the thumbnail on it immediately when it comes to gaming content, because I do so many of them back to back to back. So there's a lot of thumbnails to make. So I was editing some thumbnails, getting them together, put them out, and put them on the content today, right? Get everything situated the right way, whatever. And then I just said, you know what, man, there was a lot of stuff happening in them episodes. And it's like I cleared out this whole club, man. I had my character V go in and literally air out the whole, I'm talking about, it was like 2 or 3 missions where you're supposed to go in discreet. And I've done it that way in the past, but it's just boring to me, because it's nerve-wracking. You mess around, make one little move, you get seen, and then, and you're supposed to lose some money on the mission. Man, I done got my money in the game. I'm like, I stay at no less than 2 million. You know what I'm saying? As long as I see the number at the top and stay in the millions, I don't give a damn what. So my character be like, yeah, I'm playing for the fun. So I go in and I just wreck shop. You know, I'll go in low key at first, but I'm gonna start hacking folk because I'm an edge runner style character mixed with, you know, the ninjutsu style mixed with straight gunner, you know, marksman for real. And like right now I got this one, it's like a 9mm in the game with a nice scope on it. That thing's so lethal. I just want to find the ultimate version of it, the most powerful, because right now it gives 122 damage. And if y'all know the game, you know what I'm saying. Like, and I got this little attachment to it that almost makes it where you can't miss. As long as if you're pointing in the region of the enemy, you gonna hit. You gonna hit, you know. And I be going for them headshots. I'm trying to end it. I don't want to hear a whole bunch. As soon as they start talking, I get mad myself if I let them talk too long. When the NPCs start talking too much stuff, I'm like, excuse me? Did that fool say 2 words? Cow, cow. I'm busting pixels, right? So I'm having that kind of fun with it. And I'm saying, like, this is straight adult, man. This is R-rated movie level. I'm not even... You know, I don't even want to play about it. So I'm trying to be a responsible adult about it, like I said, and put that on my own content. Like, yeah, let me push this little button. It is 18 plus only. They penalize you. Here's what I'm saying when I penalize. It's not literally a strike. It doesn't demonetize. But here's the catch. Here's the freaking catch, right? If you look up, when you do what I'm saying I did, being responsible as a grown-ass man trying to look out for who sees this stuff, and this made me realize something about YouTube in general, for all of its content, and how some people have the audacity, they come after people for certain most silliest of things when what I'm talking about is going on in gaming and other stuff, right? If you're responsible, like I said, and put the 18 plus restriction on your own content, it can still monetize when your channel finally monetizes, which we're not yet because we need them 4,000 watch hours. Y'all keep watching, keep liking, keep subscribing, keep sharing it with friends. Please do. Thank you. But once you get there, right, unless an advertiser wants to put an ad on it, it'll never see no money. All those posts, all that time, all those good times and energy that I put into doing that won't get nothing, because you only really get paid from there being an ad on the content. You understand? So you end up, and the thing is, they don't want to put ads on anything that's not family friendly, is what they say. And I laughed at that, because I was like, you know, this is like research, AI results and stuff. But I know it's true still at the same time. I know it's true from not only direct research within the app here, but also other YouTubers I know who go through this and what they say about how it works, right? I mean, you're literally telling people to be responsible and all this stuff, but then when you are responsible, you get penalized. How could you dare say that most of the advertisers on YouTube are thinking family friendly? Let me put it like this. Anything that's political, and you know they run political ads, the closer we get to November, we're going to start seeing all the damn ads from either side of the aisle and all the other conversation they got. And this psychopath BS regime that's in power right now is going to be running the most heinous, insane ads, with all the ones that they show all them little grisly scenes where they always want to try and point a finger and say that this side allowed this and that, and it's always talking about the worst crimes and all this kind of crazy stuff. How are those kind of ads appropriate for any child? I'll wait. How is that family friendly? Like, stop playing, man. This ain't about family friendly. Just don't even play the game. These folk don't care nothing about family friendly. They care about getting that ad dollar and knowing that they can put it on some stuff that's gonna get it seen. That's it. That's all they give a damn about. They don't give a shish about who's watching. And how do I know that? Because, like I've said this before, and it pissed me off when this happened, when I found this out. I'll be live like I am right now. And back when I used to not restrict my comments to where only subscribers could speak, and really that don't completely solve the problem either, because I got subscribers that I know more than likely are kids. They get their permission from their parents to have or they don't get permission. They figure out a way to damn have an account. They get in the room off to themselves, with their little tablets and phones and stuff that I'm like, why you even got a tablet and a phone at that age, whatever? And they be looking at stuff. And then some of them, like there was this young lady, I mean, from what she said, to this day, I don't know who I was talking, texting back and forth on here too. But in a live, this child was talking, and they were always friendly. They were never mean or doing nothing disrespectful, no trolling, nothing weird. But I just got curious because I kept seeing the name. I knew the name. You know, they would be in all my lives. They'd always show up, just like 80% of the time if I went live, they'd be in the live, right? And I know this name, and I say, so-and-so, you've been here for a while checking out my content. I'm just curious because I like to know who my audience is. I said, where are you from? About what's your age range? Because I'm thinking to myself, this is grown folk talking, because I know ladies don't like to, reveal their age. So I'm like, if it is a grown woman, she ain't gonna want to say her exact age. I said, just give me a range, say 20s, 30s, whatever. And I said, and what kind of work you do? And this child come back talking about, I'm a paraplegic and I'm 12. And I said, when they said paraplegic, I said, damn. It's like I'm picturing this. Like this child's bedridden. This is their entertainment. They love watching YouTube. And, whatever about my different levels of content and all the different things I talk about from every level, whether I'm being fun and wild or whatever, or I'm fishing, I'm hiking, I'm traveling, I'm interviewing people, they find it interesting. So I'm flattered for that part because, like I say, some of my content is totally appropriate, just fine for anybody's child and family as a whole to enjoy. But because I know myself and I know my content, majority, and every time I do post, I'm not posting with kids in mind. I'm not aiming for that. I don't want that heat. I don't want that restriction on my own creativity to have to think about that. I just do what I do. And if an adult has censored my stuff for their child and knows appropriately, okay, yeah, you can watch this video where he went fishing and he might cuss a little bit because he pricked his hand on a sharp thorn or something or whatever, or he got hit by a hook at one point, or the fish bit him or something, something like that. Stuff happens and be a little more, oh shit, whatever. Maybe that's okay in your house, fine, good. I'm not bothered to know that you might be letting your kids watch that. But I do have a problem. If your kids are sitting and watching me play Cyberpunk, it's not for kids. The game is not for it's not for no damn kids. You understand me? I get mad. See, I'm cussing more just because it annoys me. It really bothers me because I'm like, there's no wonder why the world stays so screwed up, man. And it's like the stuff I'm saying, we're getting to a point like people take all this stuff for granted. Like there's stores. I'm near one right now. And they'll play, some of these stores will play, it'll be like borderline, if not straight up, uncensored rap, trap rap, which the stuff that's being said. And even if it's censored, what's being said when what's being said. And any kid that is around that enough is going to know what was being said. But I'm saying, even if you don't care in your own household and you accept that as the norm, all right, and allow kids to be around when you playing whatever, uncensored, whatever, don't care. Okay. But let me tell you what that does for when they see that, oh, it's okay in my house, and when I go out in public, not at all the stores. I know that some stores, they're not like that. They don't play that kind of music. They don't have that kind of energy in the store. But then I go in these certain stores, and that's the energy of it, right? Okay, so now you're starting to, at a young age, associate, and here's the ugly of it. For all my black folk, I'm just going to be real as hell with y'all. If there's a bunch of black rappers that sound like some of your family members, and your kids go in one store and it's, it ain't got no damn, most of them songs ain't even got no lyrics. It's just background noise. Then you got places where, it is top 10 hits only, which is, why is it top 10? Why is it pop? Because it's got lyrics that even if it is talking about something adult, some grown folk get damn near on their grave before they know what the hell that song meant. Like, you don't have to put on the red dress. The Police, Sting. It took me, I was grown. I mean, I've been doing it for years now, but I was grown before I took the time to care. Because, I like the way the song sound. It's cool, whatever. I wasn't like a super fan of Sting. Okay? But I appreciate him. He all right. He cool. It's, you know, it's whatever. It was that was that 80s stuff that I remember, you know. It was mainstream. It was whatever. You had to see it if you didn't even want to see it, right? So I had respect for it and the power of the hit, so to speak. But it was when I was grown that I realized the song is talking about a dude who's basically doing the plot of Pretty Woman. He's trying to save a prostitute from living that life. He's fell in love with this prostitute, and he's trying to keep her out of that life. He's like, you don't have to do that this night. Come be with me. Like, I'm gonna take care of you. I don't want to see you in them streets no more. Like, you better than this. That's what that song is about, right? So when you hear that blasting in whatever store, whatever, and it's, you know, and you just, you know, you singing along, did you really know what it's about? You know, I'm not saying it make a difference. If you like the song, you like the song. Fine. But what I'm getting at ultimately is most adults don't know. So, you know, kids don't know what the hell the damn song really about. You know? That's why pop is pop. You know? You listen to Smooth Criminal with Michael Jackson. Happy birthday to Michael Jackson, by the way. It is that day. You know what I'm saying? To the king of pop. But, you know, you listen to MJ and it's like, he got some joints that get deep on some stuff. But most people don't even think about that. It's so pop, such a pop song. They don't even know what it means to this day. They just sing along. They like the melody. That's all that matters. The song. So there's a difference in that. And the only thing, and I'm not saying what I'm about to say on some diss, because I'm from hip-hop culture. I am part of hip-hop cultures, plural, you know how we do here. We don't do it for the culture, because there ain't no one. And for the segment that I am in, of people who will listen to everything from Ice-T to Travis Scott to, you know, a little bit of Jay-Z to Common to The Roots to Big Daddy Kane to KRS-One to Public Enemy Forever, ever, to Outkast to... I mean, I could just go on and on and on for the stuff I love forever. This is my era. This is my generations. This is my X generation life. We the X-Men. We the X-women. We are the X-mutants. We are the mutants, y'all. We that generation. We the X. So I lived it. Well, everybody else is like, you know, claiming it in this Y and Z and all that. Yeah, y'all still late to the party no matter what you say. You can't take back time. You can't be what you weren't. If you was a baby when we was in college, you just respect that. Respect that. Some of y'all ain't got no respect for that. And that's why stuff is up. Because there ain't no order. There's no seniority. There's no regard. Man, damn, it's pathetic. So like I say, when there's no cutoff and you in a store and they just like playing this stuff, even if it's censored, man, and mama know the lyrics, and she, and the kid looking at you like, you gonna say that bad word? Did you tell me I was supposed to say? But here you are in the store, and we in public. You told me not to say words like that ever out in public. They saying it in the store, mama. See, at an early age, you're getting a bar of lacking respect for your own so-called culture. Cause you like, oh, you know how we do, and it's all fucked up over here. I mean, it'd be random as hell. People say one thing, but look what they do, and it'd be crazy. It'd be ratchet. Everything ratchet. Right? You keep pushing that narrative, that's all you got. Ratchet. You push it long enough, that's all you gonna be. Ratchet. And I'm telling you, this lack of regard for kids and restrictions on what they can and can hear, say, see, whatever, it creates a ratchet society, which is what is starting to fucking happen. And I always say, I like to look at it like this. And this ain't just the black side of it. This white folk, black folk, anybody who's been held down, Latinos, anybody on the lower end of the economic spectrum in any of those groups of the constructs, ethnic group, okay, because these are differences within your ethnicity, your nationality, etc. But if you've been held down, if you in the part of the cast that's not the one, you ain't no 1%er, you ain't even no damn 10%er. You sure as hell ain't even no, you might not even be a 50%er. You know what I mean? You below that 50 margin line of wealth and opportunity, right? Or you could have had all the opportunity, you just don't have the wealth. Because a lot of times that's been my story. I've had plenty, and I still have plenty of opportunity. But there's gatekeeping for real. especially when they know you think how I'm talking right now. And I'm okay with all that I get. I'm just like, man, I don't want to be around fake people, so the hell with it. If y'all don't see what I'm saying and agree with what I'm talking, why don't I want to hang with you? I mean, I don't like that word, that phrase talking about, you can't talk about politics. No, you pick who you can talk to about it. Because I'm not going to deal with, in business, people who I know don't have my best interest, because at some point, it's going to fall apart anyway, because the whole government of this country anyway, especially this one, is based off of business. The government itself is a corporation. So how the hell can you not deal with the politics? It's stupid to pretend that that's not part of the equation. It would behoove you, as I love to say, it would behoove you to pay attention to all of it and how it connects. So, most people just gonna live deaf, dumb, and blind their whole life. But for those who are woke, true woke, the meaning of the real word, not the fabricated, politicized version. No, we talking about the real meaning of the original term, how it was used. Then you know what the hell I'm talking about. And you're welcome here, because that's the kind of energy we are pushing. That's the kind of love we pushing. That's the kind of awareness for any and everybody's perspective, position. And like I say, I'm always open to everybody. Live how you want to be who you want to be, as long as it's functional. That's it. That's all. Just function. Just be functional. Just be functional. I'm not racist. I'm not extremist. I'm passionate. And I have my boundaries. And I state where they are. And I'm not afraid. I don't live in fear. I don't live in the fear economy mind state. Most people do. So because of that, they never say exactly what they think. They don't say exactly how they feel, because they're afraid to be, as they say, cut and limited. Man, it's happening anyway. Like I just said, this example. You be a responsible adult and try to look out for kids watching your content and say, look, this is for 18 and up. Oh, okay, well, we ain't gonna put no advertisers on your shit. You'll be broke. He don't want no money. He don't know how to play the game. We say we care about kids, but we don't really care about them. Where's the money at? That's what we dealing with, y'all. That's what we dealing with. Stop bullshitting. Enough is enough. Support the real. Respect first, then power, then money, always. Respect, power, money. Peace.